Hi, welcome back. Now we're going to approach question 3D. The commands covered for this particular question would be how to sketch an ellipse over here. Other than sketching an ellipse, also you would need to study this part carefully before you actually start working on it. There are certain sequences which you need to go through before you create this part. Now, pay special attention to this region here where there is a chamfer at an angle of 24 degrees and the chamfer distance going by 25. So this chamfer needs to be done first before you cut out your ellipse, right? The second point to note is that uh, the creation of these two countersunk holes. Okay, now naturally you will just put in 2 points and then you will create two holes simultaneously. However, for our curriculum, during the test, if you see two holes that are symmetrical, right, please only draw one hole. After one hole is done, use the mirror command to mirror the second hole. Okay, um, that is one of the little detail that you need to pay attention to. Okay, some of us may presume that this is a simple lug, right, with a fillet and a hole, but actually when you start seeing a dotted line like this, you need to ask yourself, what is this about, and where is this coming from? And when you look from the plan view, you see a little rectangle here, then you start to think that, oh, maybe there is a rectangle profile that is protruding out, but in reality it is not. It is a cutout, right? It is cut out right through the center. So how will I proceed with this question? I will first focus my energies on drawing out the base, right, and adding on the features of the base before I move on to the top segment of building this lug, followed by the rib, then of and creating the hole, and then the last is to create the rectangle cutout right through the center. Okay, without further ado, let's start. Click new, metric, standard, create. Okay, I'll be creating on my XZ plane, and the base, right, I'm going to centralize it. The reason why I centralize it is so that the work planes run through the center of the part in a symmetrical way, and I can make use of the default work planes to use it as my mirror planes, right? Because if I don't, then I need to create extra work planes, and that would lower my efficiency. Right, 180 in width, in length, and in width it is 80 millimeters. Okay, that click OK, and then I can extrude up by a distance of 30 millimeters. Just to check real quick, 38 millimeters. Okay, then there is a cutout at the bottom over here. You always ensure that your sketches are fully constrained, and the height of the cutout is 20 millimeters. The width of the cutout, the width is 40 millimeters. How did I get 40? If you were to look at the drawing, the full length is 180, the bottom segment is 140, so this one would be 180 minus 140 will give you 40 millimeters. Okay, I'll finish my sketch and I'll extrude cut through all, and okay. Alright, then I'll go on with my fillet. My fillet radius for the back corners is fillet R10 for two corners. Okay, the drawing should reflect 2 times R10. Okay, so that's a mistake over there, please do take note. And R10, I select one corner here, press the shift, move over to this corner here. Right, then I click OK. Then what I'll do is I will draw my countersunk holes. Okay, I'll rotate it so that it's clear. Put in my point, and then put in the distances of the point to the edge as per the dimension drawing. Okay, as per the dimension drawing. Don't deviate from it, because if you do, yeah, you may lose marks from there. Okay, so this is 25 and this one is 40, which is 20. Okay, now one of the common mistakes students always presume that the hole is always sharing the same center as the fillet. No, not necessarily. Okay, so you have to be careful with that and don't fall for that trap. Now the next thing is a hole, and this hole now is a lot smaller. Let's look at this. This hole is a countersunk hole, diameter 10 in, right? And then countersunk at 90 degrees to diameter 20. So these are the numbers that you have to put it in, diameter 10. Then because it's a countersunk, so you have to put this one here. And the reason why you get an exclamation mark means that there is an error in your design, right? There's an error. And the reason why there's an error, because 4 is just too small. It's not supposed to be 4. It's 20. Okay, once that's done, you have your countersunk hole, right? And the way this particular module wants you to do it is to create a 3D mirrored feature. You create 3D mirrored feature, and the feature that you select is the hole. And the mirror plane, you need to click on the plus sign next to the origin folder and find the mirror plane that is symmetrical to your part. It doesn't look symmetrical to your part because you're looking at it from an isometric point of view, but if you were to see it like this, it is symmetrical. Right? Why is it symmetrical? Because when I created my block, right, one of the first few steps I did was align it to the midpoints so that the block is centered. Right, that was one of the things. The next thing I'm going to create is this chamfer at 24 degrees 25 mm distance. So the chamfer is at an angle, right? It is, the distance is 25 and the angle is 24 degrees. So what I need to do is they will ask you to select the face. This is the face and this is the edge. Okay, now if you select it wrongly, then what you need to do is you need to select the other edge, the other face, and select the edge. Okay, right, so you click apply and that's your chamfer. After the chamfer, I'm going to draw the ellipse. Okay, where do you draw the ellipse? The ellipse is from the whole command. From the circle command, you need to go all the way down here and you move your mouse to the center, or move my mouse to the center. I select the top surface, select this bottom surface. Okay. Um, what will happen is that as you dimension the ellipse, right, the ellipse may run around. It may just move around, and then what you need to do is use the constraint commands to constrain your ellipse into position. Okay, like for this case, the ellipse is coming out. So what you need to do is you need to ensure that this is tangent to this edge. Okay, so that this is how it goes. Now the ellipse doesn't seem to be fully constrained, and that's because it can still move. It can still move. It can move this way, right? So what you need to do is you will need to ensure that it is horizontally constrained to the center over here. So there you see it's a black colored ellipse. Now we're going to cut the ellipse out, this portion out here. Right, so by drawing an ellipse here, you will be wondering how am I going to cut it out? So what you can do is you can use the rectangle command, and one of the ways that I do it is I draw a rectangle, right, rectangle out, and then what I'll do is I'll align the rectangle to the edge, okay, and then I'll give a length so that it's fully constrained, say maybe 10 millimeters. That's good enough for me, and then I can trim it. Right? I don't need this and I don't need this edge. So with that, I'm able to just extrude and cut through all the whole entire thing. Let's see. Yes. Okay, and I click OK. And that's how I have my ellipse. Got it? Now I finished the features of the bottom component. Next, I will go on to my XY plane, and then I will draw the lug or the tower. Okay, and the radius, the radius is 30, so the diameter is 60, and the distance to the back, okay, to the back, is it to the back? Wait, let me see. Yes, the distance to the back is 80 millimeters, so I need to follow it accordingly. And the height of this to the bottom is 50 millimeters. Okay, so my circle is fully constrained. Bring it back down. Bring it back down. Okay, and then I trim it. Now it is not always that the lines will turn black automatically, because sometimes when you click on it, they may not include the constraint to your sketch. And if they didn't include it to your sketch, then what you need to do is um, you will need to add it in later. So that's why sometimes my lines turn blue, so I need to tidy it up. Okay. Now with this, I'm going to extrude both sides. I'm going to extrude both sides by 60 millimeters. Let's just confirm first with the drawing. Right, the width of the tower or the lug is 60 millimeters. The width of the web, this triangle web, is 40 millimeters. So it's 60. Right, so I'm going to put 60 millimeters. 60 millimeters. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw the web. Okay, and for the web, I will need to make use of this curved surface. So I can just click on this or this to create my projected geometry. And then what I'll do is I'll move my line. I'll just draw a line first. It's a blue line. And this is the point where I will shift and turn it a little so that I can pick out my point. Right? I can pick out my point. And my point is here. And it is measured to the center of the circle. Right? It's measured to the center of the circle. I can't see it right now. So what I need to do is I need to go to view, wireframe. Yes, there is the center. So under my sketch, right, select this dot and this dot, and the dimension for this is 60 millimeters. Okay, so you need to get that right. Okay, it's 60 millimeters, which is here. From the front bottom edge of the web to the center of the circle is 60 millimeters. So we need to draw that out. And then we have that line tangent to this edge. And that's how you end up getting a black line. Then you click on the trim, click on the extreme part, and you are done. And you're ready to create your rib. Right? Create your rib. This is the one. Select your rib. And then the width of the rib is 40 millimeters. Okay. Alright, let's go back to the view and have the view with shaded edges, and this is how it looks like. The next thing I'm drawing would be the circle that runs through the center. So it's a point. Move my mouse to the edge of the circumference, drop in that point, and I'm good to create using the whole command. There is no seat, and I'm going to draw a whole diameter 30. Enter. Alright, and the very last one is the cutout from the back. Right? How I'm going to do it is I'm going to draw a rectangle, and I may just go to my view and view it in a wireframe so that I can see my centers. And then I go back to my sketch command and I put my vertical constraints. Okay, vertical constraint, and the width of the cutout slot is 16 millimeters. Okay, and the height of the cutout slot to the bottom is 20 millimeters. And this sketch is not fully constrained because this segment here is not defined, and I can move up and down, and as long as it is above the component, you're good. So just give it a length, say 88. 88 is good, and you're ready to extrude. You can click finish sketch, extrude cut, and you'll be cutting it through all. Okay, and then you click OK. Go to view, shaded with edges, and this is what it looks like, right? Your component. Okay, so when you look at it from the side, from the front view, and if you were to change your view style to shaded with hidden edges, hey, why is it not appearing? Or you can see from the wireframe, you can see the hidden line at the bottom. Okay, shaded with hidden edges. I think it's too faint. Yeah, it's too faint. I'm not able to see the hidden edge that runs right through at the bottom. Okay, and this, my friends, is question 3D. See you again soon.